It starts with a contradiction hiding on the shelf. A century-old cookie that should have faded with every dietary shift, yet didn't. While dozens of competitors rose and collapsed in cycles, one brand kept gaining strength. The numbers reveal the twist. Most legacy snacks see flat or declining household penetration over time. Oreo doesn't. Its penetration sits near the top of the entire cookie category, and its brand equity index is higher than many newer, trend-driven products by double-digit margins. Something else is happening here. Something beyond flavor, format, or price. Oreo owns nostalgia, not by accident, but through a deliberate, multi-decade strategy that turned memory into a corporate asset. Here's where the mechanics begin. Nostalgia isn't a soft, sentimental force. In consumer goods, it behaves like recurring revenue. Once a brand imprints early, in childhood, on birthdays, at family tables, it creates what psychologists call an emotional anchor. That anchor becomes a long-term predictor of lifetime value. And Oreo learned to scale that anchor across more than 100 years. Walk down a grocery aisle. Dozens of cookies compete for attention, but only one carries a structure everyone recognizes instantly. The dark wafers, the contrast of white creme, the embossed pattern. It's a memory architecture, visual, tactile, even auditory, a product designed to be recalled before it is chosen. The first domino was subtle. For decades, Oreo kept its core product almost unchanged, anchoring itself as a cultural constant. But around the early 2000s, the company introduced a new engine, controlled reinvention, seasonal flavors, limited editions, crossovers, minis, thins, all built on the same emotional chassis. The strategy wasn't novelty for novelty's sake. It was a way to reawaken old memories in new formats, pulling multiple generations back into the brand's orbit. Here's the emotional spike. People don't buy a limited edition Oreo to discover a new cookie. They buy it to reconnect with a familiar one. Through a moment of curiosity, that micro-emotion keeps the brand culturally alive. And culturally alive brands maintain pricing power, even in inflationary years, when most categories soften. The knowledge spike comes next. Nostalgia-driven brands outperform on repeat purchases by mid-single-digit margins versus brands without emotional heritage. That difference compounds across millions of carts. It's why Oreo can sit inside a mature category and still post steady growth in markets where biscuits overall remain flat. This isn't resistance. It's resilience engineered through memory. Then came the pivot no one expected. Licensing. When Oreo expanded into ice cream, baking mixes, dairy, and co-branded desserts, it wasn't chasing adjacencies, it was exporting its nostalgia into entirely new profit pools. Each license extended the emotional anchor into categories that refresh weekly or seasonally, multiplying touchpoints without diluting the core. One North American frozen aisle partner, the ice cream company Friendly's, reported double-digit lifts when an Oreo-branded variant replaced a generic cookie flavor. Not because the formula changed, but because the memory did. This isn't just a cookie strategy. It's a modern template for emotional incumbency, the ability to occupy psychological real estate competitors cannot easily replicate. You can match Oreo's ingredients, you can match its price, but you cannot match 110 years of rituals, family patterns, and childhood associations. That is the competitive moat. Invisible, and nearly impossible to reverse engineer. Yet even nostalgia has a tension point. A brand can become so iconic that reinvention risks backlash. Too far from the core, and consumers reject the deviation. Too close, and innovation stalls. Oreo manages this through what insiders describe as peripheral risk. Push change to the edges. Flavors, formats, partnerships, while keeping the center untouched. This balance allows both stability and experimentation without destabilizing the emotional anchor. People think nostalgia is backward-looking, but for Oreo, nostalgia is a future growth engine. Every new generation introduced to the cookie is not just a customer, it's a memory in progress. The economic payoff shows up years later, when that child becomes a shopper, making fast, emotionally encoded decisions in crowded aisles. The brand wins the basket long before the adult enters the store. And so, the strategy continues. A cookie born in the industrial age now thrives in an era of functional foods, inflation pressure, and shifting health expectations. Not because it chases trends, but because it owns a piece of identity no trend can replace. Nostalgia isn't a halo for Oreo. It's infrastructure, a system designed to retain loyalty even when the category's economics turn. As we look ahead, one question lingers. How far can a legacy brand stretch its emotional equity before the next generation demands a different kind of comfort? The answer will shape the next chapter of consumer psychology, because in a marketplace crowded with innovation, the most powerful force may still be the memory we reach for without thinking. A memory shaped like a cookie, and a cookie shaped by a century of strategy.